mac and cheese. But this is unlike you've ever had before. Because this isn't what your grandma used to make or even your mama. I promise you, she didn't do this. Not that it's better, all the respects to the mamas. But the reality is, this is going to be amazing. Check it out. All right, let's get to it. The pasta water is boiling, which means it's time for the salt. We want this to taste like the sea. Again, I know I say this every time, but if you're using stainless, please make sure your water is boiling before you put the salt in, because it can pitch your pans and your pots, and then you got a bunch of cranky people around you, probably even yourself. It should taste like the sea. Salt water, okay? We're taking our pasta. Let me cover that up. So good. My mouth's already watering because I've literally made this, I don't know how many times. In fact, the love of my life, the first time that I cooked for her, I made this. And it's been what, 20, 25 years that we've been together still. Okay, maybe not. Anyway, the noodles are going in. Easy as that. Now please do me a favor and stir this up, because those starches are gonna wanna coagulate. They're gonna wanna join all that pasta together. And I have seen people put the pasta in boiling water, walk away thinking they're fine, and guess what? They get a big lump of macaroni, which that's tough to recover from. So I'm gonna give this a stir. And now, cue the elevator music. Back to the pasta, because it's done. All right, let me grab this guy. Be mindful when you're using stainless pans and pots, because these can get a little warm. I mean, it's no big deal. But look at this. You can stay there, that's fine. Look, real quick. I'm just going in to a strainer. Back in. Thank you, Mr. Strainer. Now we're going back to the oven, or the stove. Look, I'm gonna turn this down, not off. But I'm gonna turn it down because I don't need a rolling boil on this right now. But what I'm gonna do is take maybe a third of a stick of butter. That's going in. You can hear that it's still warm. Those noodles are popping a little bit, which is awesome. And if you like your pasta a little more al dente, then do that. If you like it a little softer, do that. I'm going off because I can feel it. I can feel those starches start to stick to the bottom of the pan. So I'm gonna pull it. I'm gonna get that butter incorporated really nice, which is really good. I'm just tossing it around. I mean, this is no big deal, right? I mean, if I can do it, you can do it, trust me. We're just moving it around. All right, that butter's getting really close. See, my instinct is to take it back to the heat, but I have to refrain. I'm gonna take a quarter, maybe a quarter, yeah, ish, of a block of cream cheese. Now this is what's gonna give you all the richness. Like, you're getting that butter, of course. Break it up a little bit. Sure, why not? But that butter's gonna melt. That cream cheese is gonna melt. And this is what differentiates I don't have the box anymore, but this is what differentiates a mac and cheese box with anything else that you've ever had, you know, when it comes out of a box like that. The richness that this butter and the cream cheese adds makes all the difference in the world, all right? So, now we go in with the
milk.
If you have cream, that might be a little overkill because we've got our cream cheese in there, we have butter in there, but we're going in with milk, 2%. Not that it matters. Just grab some dairy, man. Check it in. I promise everything's gonna be okay. I'm gonna start with just a little bit because I want to start to develop that sauce. I'm gonna bring it back on the heat just for a second. And now it's starting to get creamy. That's what I'm looking for. I want just a little bit of creaminess. And yes, this is a little bit more intensive, I guess, but barely. I mean, it's a few more minutes than what you would normally just dump the cheese powder in and just serve, right? Now it's ready for cheese-like product, powdered. I'm putting about half of it in there, and I'm gonna just fold it. It's gonna start taking on that really familiar color of macaroni and cheese out of the box. Again, try not to destroy your noodles. Just folding, and then as that gets incorporated, sprinkle a little more. Look, the mac is getting prettier-ish. I think it'll be okay. We're gonna get in there. What do we do? Taste. Hot. Don't forget things on the oven are hot. It's good, needs salt. I have a shirt, in case you've noticed. Past videos, needs salt. Because it seems like that's always the case. So I'm just gonna fold in a little bit of salt. And listen, as you put that powdered cheese-like substance in there, make sure and adjust with the milk, because that powder is gonna kind of coagulate and it's gonna like make everything kind of bind together. And we want a creamy mac and cheese. We don't want to, you know, like, did you get that? We don't want it pasty. We want it creamy and nice. Okay? So, again, we taste. Yes, same spoons for me. Better. Next thing going in, whoa, forgot about that, is half of a jalapeno. Because we like things spicy around here at Chomp Chomp Chewy Kitchen Bravo. And indigo home. Man, that smells great. Actually, I'm getting a little excited about this now. Even more so. Maybe because it smells so good. Garlic powder. Just a hint. Because I want that subtle, and yes, you've heard it before, and I'm sick of saying it, and you're sick of hearing it, umami flavor. But that's what it does. I mean, if you think about, basically what you think about, what happens with umami is it's a grounding. You get that earth level flavor, you know, that you can only get from like mushrooms and garlic and, you know, things that grow in the ground. Let me move this over. I'm talking here while I should be cooking, but that is not uncommon. All right, but so we thickened up a little bit. No big deal. I add a little bit of milk because we're cooks, we're not bakers. We don't follow rules. Like when you're baking, there are very hard lines of these are the rules. This is what you must do to have a successful product. Generally speaking, right? The bakers back there are like, cooks were rebels, man. We do what we want. That's the deal. That's why I put jalapeno in mac and cheese, right? That's why we put garlic in it. That's why we put cream cheese in it. We don't follow, if I showed you the instructions, boil, dump some stuff in, eat it. No, not here. You're better than, you're better than that. This is where the fun starts. All right, the mac and cheese is effectively done. I am gonna hit it with just a little bit of white pepper because I love white pepper. And it takes so little white pepper, which is a good thing because this is like $18 a bottle. Okay, it's not that much, I'm kidding, of course. But it's a little more expensive. But it's so worth it because, again, it's just adding layers and depth of flavor, which is what's so amazing. Now, this mac is done. This is where it gets interesting. Check this out. And yes, let me do this. You can serve it 100% exactly like this. You can get a big scoop of it, put it right in the bowl, and everyone in your life, including yourself, would be thrilled to death that off the heat. Everyone's gonna be thrilled to death with this. Why? Because they're expecting, you say mac and cheese, they're thinking Kraft, straight out of the box. Everyone is gonna be very excited with this, right? But we're gonna kick it up a little bit. I'll set you aside. We're going with a little smaller bowl. This is very important, oven safe. Oven safe, please. Whatever that means to you. Or the law, I don't know. Fire off. Mac in. Now usually I serve this in a little smaller dish because it's so full of flavor and it's such a flavor bomb with everything that we've put into it and everything that we're going to put in it, which let me grab, that it only takes a little bit. If you saw my other video, which was basically homemade hamburger helper kicked up, then you've kind of seen this technique before, but that's okay because it works across the board on many different things. These are French fried onions. They're delicious. We go through so many, not because I cook with them, because I eat them like potato chips, because they are amazing and delicious. First off, I'm going in just a little bit on top. Here. Good. And one for the cook. The second reason we go through so many. Voila. See them. Cheddar. We're putting the cheese on. Yes, we're putting cheese on mac and cheese. Real cheese, mind you. Mind that. Unexpected, I know. A little bit of cheese. More onions. The crunch and flavor that these things give, because, I mean, if you think about it, mac and cheese is it's creamy, it's a little soft, so we don't get that texture that we crave and the balance of textures as we eat. So I throw a little bit more on there, a little bit more cheese. So we're going in. Keep an eye on it because it's only going to be like 30 seconds. So we'll check back then. Okay, so I can smell it. Those onions are caramelizing and that cheese is ready to roll. Man, I'm gonna grab this guy out real quick. Oh man, where's my, can you grab my board right there, please? Thank you. Now look at this. Okay, so there's a quick lesson for you. Kids at home. If you use a wet towel to pick up hot things, you think it's gonna be safe. The reality is it steams the moisture inside the towel and it's worse. It burns your hands. So don't do that. Use an oven mitt. Let me grab a fork and we're gonna get into this real quick. All right, 2 seconds. This is not what folks are used to when it comes to mac and cheese. But you are gonna set the bar when it comes to family mac and cheese from this point forward. Follow this recipe, man. You are going to be a rock star. And follow us. I'm gonna show you other decadent, ridiculous things that you are gonna love and your family's gonna love, your potential new wife is gonna love. Because I like to woo with food. Oh no.